Eyes down for the Good morning, people. It's Wednesday. It's a beautiful morning, and I'm almost feeling better. I've still got the occasional cough, and I was going to crack on with this today, which I am going to crack on with this today anyway, but I've also got other things to do. And here's something that is something that was left down at Michael's for me to repair, that Michael forgot to bring up and I forgot about and he forgot about. It's off a piece of optician's equipment. I'm not quite sure what. It's a rise and fall column basically. It's electrically powered automatic rise and fall column, which doesn't work. So basically it's a basic fault finding job. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to put it on the other hydraulic platform, jack it up to working height, see if we can get it going. Right, I'll bring you back when it's on there. It's really nice to get back to the workshop, to a nice tidy workshop with a clean sink and clean towels and a clean, well, nearly clean floor and everything. Right, I'll bring you back when I'm in it. Bye now. Right folks, we're in, and this Italian made piece of kit contains a British made linear actuator, or at least it appears to be British made. It's Linac and it's all printed in English. So unfortunately that's where the fault lies. We're getting power into the unit, we're getting power up to the top of the unit to the two outlet sockets, which are, that's one, the other one's at the other side. So it looks like we've got a fault in the Linac unit itself. So I am assuming that to get the Linac unit out, you remove that wire there and you remove that bolt, and the whole thing comes out the top after you've removed the sockets. So that's the next job, just to see if we can fix it, because these Linac units are about 300 quid a piece. So we'll dive in there and we'll have a look and we'll see if we can make any sense of it. I have checked the remote. This is switching okay, so it appears that there's actually it's getting no voltage to that because the green light doesn't come on. So there you go. Right, in we go. Oh dear, I broke it. Well, what have we got, folks? As you might guess, is a linear actuator, which appears to be completely non-functioning. It's made by Linac in Denmark, and I've just emailed them to see if they do a replacement. This is a unit from 2003, so it's done a lot of work. But whether we can get a replacement or not, I don't know. But there you go. I found a replacement which looks similar online. It's about 250 quid. But this is a piece of very expensive equipment it goes on. So that's the end of that job for now. So it's, what I shall do now is sit down with the multimeter, go through all the wiring again and check that I haven't missed a fault. And then wait for the reply from Linac to see if they have any ideas. The problem is, this is, as I say, this is a 2003 unit. They don't even use the same numbering system today, so it's old. So it might be a case of getting a new column from the Italian makers of the optical equipment or whatever. But we shall see. Right, onward. Let's pack it all up and do another job. Bye now. Right folks, that's all sided up and waiting for a reply. Right, I've come to a momentous conclusion. This bench is a bloody mess and it has to go. It is neither a good metal store nor a good workbench. basically all it's doing is supporting a load of grinders and has a load of metal piled underneath it. Now, the World and his wife uses racks on walls for metal stores. I can put a rack on this wall, I can put a rack on that wall, right? And I can store most of my metal up there, and I can also put something like a scaffold board width shelf for putting grinders on. The main ones, I actually, of all these grinders, look at them all. And there's only 4 now. There's only 4. I use these 2. Right, that's got my green grip wheel on for carbide, and a coarse wheel. This is just a wire brush. The other 2, that's a really nice one. But that one is one that I bought for a tenner, and it works, and it's got a wire brush on it, and it needs new bearings, but it's fine. It's working fine. So what I could do with really is a narrow shelf against a wall, or against a wall, with those on it. Most of this bench is unused. It's in the way. It's got a load of metal stored underneath it, but it's not very well stored. What I want is 2 or 3 long bits of angle iron and some little brackets sticking out so that I can put metal on it. It could go that side, it could go that side, it could go both sides. I can soon leave a gap for the 13 amp socket and the switch. I could store a load of metal on that wall there as well. So really, what I need to do is make better use of storage, because I'm just getting blocked up with junk again. Yes, I am. Right, anyway, I'm going to now see if I can find a drain off tap or filling tap for the back of the boiler, and we'll get the boiler made up, get all the pipes on the boiler made up and lifted into position, and then we can start some plumbing, or at least I'll then start on the heat exchanger, and we'll get that put together and see how that comes out. Right, I'll bring you back in a bit. Bye now. I bring you back, folks. It's still Wednesday, to a scene of utter devastation. There's mess everywhere, which I'm going to tidy up first thing in the morning, because it's 4:40 and nearly time to go. I've been searching and searching and searching. I've got all this area cleared out ready to start, and I've been searching for some obscure plumbing fittings to join these together as one heat exchanger, and I've found them. I've found bungs, but they're straightforward. It's these junctions on here. This is out of a gas boiler, you see, and it's different plumbing. It's the same threads, but it's different diameters. But by drilling these out very slightly, I can put an old style 3/4 inch tap union onto them, and I've just found 4 of them. Now I could have probably gone to the plumbers merchants in Driffield and got some, but I've got some, so why bother? In fact, I've got more than I need really. I need 2 to join these 2 together into one, so and that'll be the flow and that'll be the return, so that it'll flow through that one, up there, across there, back into that one, flow back through that one, and then back to the boiler. So there you go. Whether we'll be able to remove enough heat from this, I don't know. Whether it will work, well, I know it will work, but it may be too efficient because the stove might put out too much heat. I also found a header tank which fits nicely up there, so I'm going to put the header tank up there, put a feed pipe down the back, and I think I've now got all the bits to commence firing tomorrow. So it might all go together tomorrow, and I've even summoned up the courage to use my little coupler to refill some gas bottles. So I've got my nice blow lamp, my nice plumbing blow lamp to do the job with. But I've made a bit of a mess. Oh, I know one thing I didn't One thing I didn't find was another 22mm pump valve, but I've got a 28mm one in the reducer, so I can take this abortion off and put a proper pump valve on there. So that's it. So I think we're about ready to go. So that's it for Wednesday. I'll see you all tomorrow for a day of frantic bodging. Okay, bye now. Right folks, Thursday just got here after moving about 10 barrel loads of frozen dog meat because Keith's ill and Angela can't do it by herself. I've just recovered. Been sitting at the bench gasping, but I've just recovered. So now I'm going to tidy this bloody mess up. Now I've sorted it all out into brass and copper, which I should have done ages ago. And then I'm going to get rid of it all. Right then, I'll bring you back when I'm doing something interesting, if it ever happens. Bye now. Right folks, 3 o'clock. I've almost finished siding up. I've sorted all my scrap into brass and copper. And I'm busy making the link piece to go between the two heat exchangers. Now I've also got these two pieces of wood here and I've drilled them for tie wraps, and I'm going to tie wrap around each pipe at both ends just to turn it into one heat exchanger. That's my link pipe. That'll be in the downstream side. The feed will be into those two. It'll go through one, back through there, through the other, and back to the return again. So I'll get this all put together, put all these tie wraps in, and I'll bring you back and show you it. Bye now. Now folks, and there we are folks. Two heat exchangers becomes one. So what I'm going to do next is just flux this up and solder it, and I'll tip it into this position to solder it, and then it won't I can solder everything vertically, and it won't run inside and it won't run down towards the nut either. So I'll crack on with that and I'll bring you back when I've done it. Bye now. Well, that's it for today folks. We have a heat exchanger. What we want next is a box approximately 15 inches square that this will fit inside, with some strips of that to seal it around the edges, and something like that to seal this bit, and we should be onto a winner. Now there's no calculations involved in this whatsoever. Each one of those heat exchangers is out of a gas boiler, right? So that heat exchanger had hot gases running through it and heated a whole house, right? So if you work out, if you think of that as its heat exchange from burning gas to water, it makes it fairly efficient. And there were both modern condensing gas boilers. Well, what I'll be doing is putting hot water through there and taking the heat off with a big powerful fan. A fan that is from a heater that used to heat a whole house, so I know it can move enough air. So what I'm hoping is that it's not going to boil. So I shall start off with a small fire and see how hot it gets, and go from there. It is the heater is thermostatically controlled, so if the water gets too hot it will shut the air down, so that's a good thing. But other than that, it's completely drawn on the back of an envelope that happens to reside in the back of my head. So there you go. So tomorrow I think we're about ready to start getting the boiler into position, get the flue on and get some plumbing on. I've sorted out my pipe, I've sorted out all my connections. I have to perhaps find a T with a 1/2 inch threaded outlet or something like that. I'll see what I've got, but that's all by the by. I think mainly I'm ready. It would just be convenient if I could stand excuse me, I'm still coughing a bit. If I could stand the heater on something to raise it up off the floor a little bit, which would mean I have enough flue. But I can probably find a piece of flue or make a piece. I can make a piece of flue, good grief. It's only about a foot, 18 inches short. There you go. Right, that's it for today, folks. I'll see you all tomorrow for Friday's Fun and Games. Bye now. Good morning, folks. Friday, 12 o'clock. And I've had a bit of a side up. I was in a right mess, couldn't move, kept dropping stuff, kept losing stuff. So, further to this, we're on with making the box. Well, there's our starting materials. I've got lots of that. So, I'm going to fold that into a 90-degree piece, take one of those folds out with the middle, and then fold the other one at 90 degrees and offer it up, and we'll see how we go. And those fixings in there. Now what we'll probably do is fix a block to the front of this piece of wood here and fix in like that, and the same at the top. Right, so we can get a fix into wood to fix it at 4 points, right, and that's all it will need. Obviously, I mean these aren't really original fixings as far as I can remember. They might have something bolted to them, but I can't remember. I don't think there's anything bolted to them. And then we have to make a hole for the fan to blow into, and a curve to push the air around the corner. So that's my raw materials. I'm going to get stuck into that now, and I'll bring you back when I'm on with it. Bye now. There we go, folks. 144, and it's beginning to come together. So what I need now is a cover piece for the top. So I might just cut another one of these and fit it to the top, so that then it's beginning to box in. I must admit, I do not like this sort of tin bashing. It's you need a lot of equipment for it. I've tidied out a lot of my steel because I was looking for my 2 pieces of angle iron which I use for folding metal in between the rices, and they're gone. So I've either put them somewhere safe or I've used them. It's very possible that I've used them. I found these two. They're not very satisfactory, but they do the job. So there you go. Right, I shall grab another piece of tin and start hacking. Off we go. Well, folks, this bench bender might be growing on me. It's fetched that up straight away. I realised that if I bend that there, that will then go there and there, and probably over that way a bit as well. So we're just reducing the metal that I've got to cut. I've got rather a lot of this. This is what they are. They're a strip of pressed metal, plastic coated, that goes with well, that's it up there. So you use it for flashings, you use it for ridges. It, generally speaking, goes with the box profile sheeting, and I've got a lot of it. So if anybody wants any, come and see me, because I'll flog it. I'll sell it at it's 24 quid a length, and I'm going to sell it at 12 quid just to get rid of it, because I've got I think I had 60 panels. But there you go. Right, so I've done that, I've bent that, I'm absolutely knackered. I realise that I'm still not back to full strength. There is some metal that I'm going to use for metal racks on the walls with some surreptitious cutting and welding. Right, and here we are. Let's get this piece out of the bender and see if we can make it fit. There we go, folks, it's shaping up. That bender is definitely growing on me. It bends this stuff. I mean, this is fairly soft metal. It's fairly easy to straighten it out into a flat sheet, and it hardly damages the plastic. Most of this will clean off and you won't see any of that. But that bender's made a really neat job of that. It's going to make it a lot easier doing it. I might forgive it for its earlier sins of failing. Right, onward. There we are, folks, the final closing plate made. It's beginning to take shape, but I've just thought of a little addition. I need to put a bleed for letting the air out at the highest point, and what I'm going to use is one of these, right, which is an automatic bleed valve. It's got a float inside, and when there's only air in there, the float drops and the water pushes the air out of that little bleed at the top. So what I'm going to do, can you see in there, I'm going to take that out and I'm going to put a 1/2 inch M&F male and female threaded elbow into there, put a hole in the side there and mount that there like that. So next job, of course, is to go and find a 1/2 inch M&F elbow. I'll bring you back when I've got one. There we are, folks. One M&F elbow. There's only one problem. I can't put it on without taking my link pipe off again. So off again with the link pipe. Never mind. These things are sent to try us. There we are, folks. All back together with the automatic bleed valve fitted. Or at least it will be fitted through the skin when the skin will actually come down to there. So we need to cut a hole for that, but I haven't decided whereabouts I'm putting it lengthwise in the enclosure yet. The next thing to do is to get these rubber mounts made for either end so that it's ready to fix in, and then we'll get the enclosure partly made up and get it ready to fix. So I'm going to carry on with that now. Bye now. And there we are, folks. Rubber seals on both ends, ready to fit. But unfortunately, it's the witching hour and I'm off. So, thank you all for watching. Thank you for liking. Please like, please send comments. I love comments. I always answer comments. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, because I still notice that about 70 or 80% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed. And next week, after I've finished this, we can start putting it all together. My idea is to take that out, suspend the heat exchanger box with the fan up there, which means my coat hanger will have to come down, with the fan underneath, blowing straight into the end of the heat exchanger, move that over there, fix that to the end, that joint's in just a nice place, take that joint off and fix that to the end of the heat exchanger, and then off it goes around the workshop. So I think it's gonna work well. I might need another suspension strap for there, probably will do, but I've got plenty in here that are going to be spare. And then bring the pipework up and through that hole. Something tells me I'm going to need some more 22mm pipe, but it's going to be plumbed in plastic. So there you go. Right, folks, there's the fan. I'll see you all next week. Bye now.